This was a video I wasn't anticipating on making this year. I will admit, the main reason is because I started something that I haven't exactly told you guys. In January of 2022, I entered my first semester of Child and Youth Care, a program dedicated to training students and helping children in the moment and being positive influences in their lives. And I entered it, all because of a part-time job that became so much more to me. Why don't I tell that story? But first, we may want to take a step bit further back than you may expect. Let's go back to when I entered my first college program. Back when I was studying to be a computer engineer. I know. It's a bit weird to hear that, but yes! Originally, I was studying to be a computer engineer, or by my definition at the time, an advanced programmer. It may seem odd considering the kind of person I am now, and even back then it seemed out of character, but it was the only thing I knew I could study. I was proficient in math and computers, so I thought, hey, I'll give this a shot. It was tough and stressful, but I somehow managed to pass my first year. Then, during the break between my first and second year, I decided to get a job. At first, it was a bit of a struggle as I could barely manage to snag an interview. But then, during my third attempt, I somehow got an interview at the company Loblaws. Loblaws has a bit of a history with my family. I would go to the grocery stores a lot when I was younger and lived near one, and I even had family who had great experiences working within the company. And sure enough, during my first and only interview with them, like legitimately, the first time I had sat in front of someone to be interviewed for a job, I was told I was hired to be part of their front-end staff. I became part of their cashier team. Loblaws was such a different era compared to previous places I worked for. The workplace felt fun and inviting, not to mention management was always kind and understanding. I felt I had found a place that accepted my happy attitude towards work and my want to add my own creative touch to the workspace. Actually, one thing I will never forget. On my first day, we were given our name tags, and I was expecting them to use my legal name, Samantha. But when I got handed my tag, it said Sammy. My nickname and the name that you guys mostly know me by. Which, was proudly displayed on my email at the time that I used when they first contacted me. They did offer to change it, but I said I actually preferred it, and they let me keep it. Every shift was a new learning experience, and I remember that in a sense, it was my escape from school. I could leave behind the calculated and objective world of coding, enter a fun and understanding environment within Loblaws. Eventually, my shifts were about to get even more fun. One Saturday, one of my managers approached me and offered me a new position for me to do. It was to run the hot dog stand to help raise money for whatever charity we were partnered with, and I was so hype! No joke, I was so excited that I literally made a playlist of music to play while I worked at the stand within 5 minutes. Yeah, I was sitting in the break room, just going through YouTube, just going out my hand. But I did work that quickly. It was an absolute blast, and my managers agreed to put me on the stand again in the future. And wouldn't you know it, the first charity I had ever worked for that stand should sound very familiar to regular viewers of my channel. PC Children's Charity. During my second or third time running the stand, this was really early on. One of my other managers gave me a booklet with information about the charity, since I was still fairly new and didn't know too much about it. This was just in case if any customers wanted more information. Normally, I think most would probably throw that booklet to the side going, "Psh, I don't need this!" But I looked it over, and I was so happy. It turns out all the funds that I was raising at the stand was going to children who often didn't have access to food, especially in the morning. These children relied on PC Children's Charity in order to have access to good, healthy food, so they would be fueled to learn as much as they could at school, as well as learn about good eating habits directly from the charity. Not to mention, the charity was all over Canada, doing their best to help as many kids as possible. I remember how much this little booklet about the charity pushed me to keep doing my best at the stand, making sure to greet as many customers as possible and giving it my all to make sure I could raise as much as I could. Even going as so far as to developing a phrase to say thank you to customers. Thank you for feeding hungry minds with your hungry stomachs. To me, being able to have this kind of positive impact meant a lot. I've had some terrible things happen in my life, and at times I don't think highly of myself. But the thought that someone like me was able to help other children to have a fresh start meant the world to me. Being able to help others who had no control over their situation pushed me to keep doing my best, to give other children the future they deserved. Eventually, this passion led to me working on my very first special for PC Children's Charity. At the time, I wanted more ways to promote the charity outside of my workspace, but I didn't know exactly how to go about it. Like, I obviously have my YouTube channel, and I think, if memory serves correct, around the time I made the first special, it was about just close to 3,000 subscribers. But obviously I was like, I don't know how I can, like, make a video about this. Like, I need, like, something. But that was when a certain little display came into our store. It was a cardboard box filled to the brim with PC Children's Charity Bears for that holiday season, and I immediately fell in love with them. I loved its soft fur and cute design that I bought it right away without even thinking I was going to buy it for a video. I just wanted the bear. I was like, this is too cute. I am having one right now. And soon enough, the idea came about to make a video about the bear. I finally had my concept. Originally, I was considering making a comedic video, but then I got to thinking, this video idea could have been done with any bear. I needed to make it somewhat unique. I needed to make a reason as to why this video was being made about this particular bear. So the idea was scrapped in favor of making a video that promoted the charity and informed people about it in a fun way. And also on a college budget, might I add. Despite having a very busy schedule with studying programming, I still worked as hard as I could on the video. It helped me relieve my stress in a strange way. And through the help of a friend, approval from my managers, and tons of filming across my store's location, the video was launched. And something happened that I didn't expect. The video got noticed by PC Children's Charity themselves. I got a message from someone at their offices who had shared the video with everyone there, and they were wondering what store location I was from. Immediately, my manager stepped in to talk with them on my behalf, and they mentioned that they wanted to do an interview for an article they were going to put out for the charity bear. Then shortly after, an article about the video was posted onto Flip, our online scheduling portal. And there I was, as soon as people logged in, on the front page, holding a charity bear, smiling proudly. Funny story, I was out of town when the article was published, while I was also getting engaged at the same time. So when I came back home and went to work the next day, I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of whiplash. I had a lot of our store's staff talking to me about the article. My brother-in-law, who worked for like another location in another province, even texted me to show that the article made its way to their flips as well. They had even translated the article to French. This was mind-blowing. It meant the world to me that I had their support to promote them in this way, because even if the video on my channel didn't get many views or only got one person to run out and buy a bear, it still meant so much to me. So I kept doing it, making a sequel in 2020 with over 20 different voice actors, and finally achieving my goal of releasing a special on December 1st, giving plenty of time for people to go out and support the charity during the holiday season. Then the next year, I made a video for Easter featuring another Loblaws employee as a voice actor and promoting the bunnies. I even achieved my goal of wanting to make a song to help PC Children's Charity that same year for Christmas. During this time, I also worked on 2 fun PC Optimum dresses that was originally just meant for Halloween, but it eventually became a fun costume that I regularly wear around our store's location for special events. But you're probably wondering by now, what happened to programming? Like, the thing that you literally started talking about the moment you started telling the story. What happened to that? Well, in 2020, after a tough and grueling 3 years, and a terrible semester where my mental health was in the absolute gutter, I graduated. And I was scared. I should have been excited. I achieved what I had set to do 3 years ago. My friends, my family, they were all so excited that I graduated and I was going to start my career in programming. I even had friends who attended my graduation ceremony online. But I was terrified. At that point, programming had become something so stressful to me, and not something I enjoyed doing anymore. I was only pushing forward in my program to graduate. Not because I actively believed I had a career in it. I was pretty much only coding for assignments. I was never coding on my own time to experiment or make projects that I would have an interest in. Nope. At that point, I just wanted to graduate and move on. But now that I was done, I was scared. I didn't want to leave my current workplace that I had grown so much in and felt comfortable in. I didn't want to stop doing the work I was doing for PC Children's Charity. I didn't want to leave just yet. So with the pandemic rolling in not long before, it gave me the chance to take a step back and reflect on what I wanted to do next. All the while, I was able to stay with Loblaws and continue doing the work that I was doing for the charity. Most of what I had actually done after that first special for PC Children's Charity was only because I had taken that break from pursuing programming. Because I wanted to keep doing what made me feel happiest. During this time, Loblaws was extremely supportive. My managers encouraged me to take my time deciding in what I wanted to become while supporting my continued creative efforts. After a year, while talking to some of my closest friends, and admitting I was stressed about not knowing what I wanted to do just yet, my best friend spoke up. Many of you guys know her as X Sour Sweets or Hikari, whichever you prefer. And she talked to me about the position of a child life specialist, mentioning it was about helping children in a fun way that she pictured me in. How she knew I loved working with and helping children, and thought it'd be perfect for me. And in that moment, it clicked. Every time I worked with PC Children's Charity, I always did my best because I was helping children in the way that I knew how. No matter how big or small the impact, I still did it because I wanted to help them. Eventually, before I knew it, I found myself researching on how to become a child life specialist. Unfortunately, no college near me offered a course that would place me right into that position, but I did find something very similar. A program that actively put me in places where I'd be working with children in the moment to help them become the best version of themselves. This program was Child and Youth Care, and just this last August, I had gotten accepted to enter the program in the winter semester, and I've been having an absolute blast. But as I continue to study and work hard, I've been keeping PC Children's Charity in mind, promising to keep the passion I've had for them in my work in child and youth care. Not to mention, I'm still actively working as part of the front-end staff for Loblaws while working hard in my studies. Truth be told, when I told my managers what college program I decided to apply to, they were extremely supportive. Nearly every manager I had told that I entered child and youth care, they always said the same thing. That's perfect for you. That's incredibly fitting. So if anyone from PC Children's Charity is watching this, thank you for always supporting my efforts to help promote the cause, and for helping me find my way to my current studies. I'm going to keep doing my best, and this certainly won't be the last video you'll see from me. And as for anyone from Loblaws, thank you for bringing me on as a member of your team. I'm so grateful to have been hired as part of your front-end staff, and I will continue to smile and be creative. This year I'll be achieving my 4th year, and let's hope there's more to come! Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm sorry this was a different and longer video than I typically put out, but I've been meaning to share this story for quite some time. Special thanks to Nerda for helping make the artwork for this video, and for my managers for encouraging me to tell the story in conjunction with our We Are Front End and I Am Cashier campaign on Yammer. Originally, this video was going to be promoting PC Children's Charity bunnies, but due to time constraints of my studies, I wasn't able to make the deadline to make it in time. But I highly encourage you to support PC Children's Charity if you can, as they're an amazing breakfast program that helps many kids all across Canada. Thank you for feeding hungry minds with your kind hearts!